Pennsylvania sure gets quite a bit of snow during the winter weather season. And as we all know, snow and ice can make it harder to drive. You can be falsely charged with a Pennsylvania DUI because of the snow. Pennsylvania gets quite a bit of wintry weather, as we all know, and snow and ice make it harder to drive. One problem you may face is a false Pennsylvania DUI charge because of the tough road conditions and driving conditions because of snow. Just imagine, you're minding your business, you're driving on an icy secondary road in Harrisburg. You keep your speed slow and try and veer away from any of the dark patches on the road because you're concerned they might have black ice. You may press your brake a little from time to time at the suspicion of a slick spot or ice, and guess what? The cop in the unmarked car behind you sees this perceived lack of control, articulates it as weaving from you trying to avoid the icy spots, which is normal, and erratic driving by pressing on the brakes, and pulls you over for suspicion of DUI. Once you're pulled over, the rest is just academic. The cop believes he sees, quote, red, bloodshot, and glassy eyes, end quote, your nervous explanations he calls, quote, slurred speech. He sees your reaction from the cold draft of having the window open and takes your shaking and clumsy reactions as, quote, fumbling with paperwork. With all of this, he presumes you to be drunk. You're asked to stand on one leg and maybe you stumble a little bit because, well, silly you're used to standing on both of your legs for a period of time. You're asked to act like a gymnast and on a balance beam and walk a straight line, placing your heel against your toes, and because you're not a gymnast and very nervous, you cannot ever do it. All of this leads you to being arrested and falsely charged with a Pennsylvania DUI, and that's not fair. So what about those ever so accurate breath tests? They will save you, right? Because they're always accurate. Wrong. The truth is that Pennsylvania DUI breath tests are very inaccurate and produce a high number of false positives. They can produce an erroneous reading and results due to certain mouthwashes, cough medications, and even chewing white bread. You are also at high risk of false DUI if you are diabetic or have GERD or another medical condition. And also on top of that, police can charge you with a Pennsylvania DUI even if you have a 0 reading on the breath test, because then they start looking for drugs and they presume that you're under the influence of drugs even if you're not. Some may see this as a far-fetched scenario, but ask any experienced DUI attorney and they will tell you that these mistakes, like this and that I've just described, happen on a regular basis. Pennsylvania drivers, please drive safely, and please be aware of the snow and the ice, and also be aware of false DUIs. If you've been charged with a false DUI, please call 1-866-McShane to speak to one of our many Pennsylvania DUI expert attorneys.